Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today's Happy Lunch and Learn. Today's April 10th, I believe. Yep, April 10th, Thursday. So we'll get started here in just a second. Give folks a moment to kind of join the lobby, and hopefully you have some questions for me, so that hopefully I can have some answers for you. So again, thank you for joining. If you're watching this on YouTube later, I might recommend fast forwarding a couple of minutes. We do have timestamps in the bottom, so you can just find that first timestamp from the first question, fast forward there. Or if you want to hear me ramble for a couple minutes, feel free to stick around. We'll ramble it on. We do have folks joining the lobby. Thank you again for joining some of the friendly, familiar faces, the small community we've built here on this Lunch and Learn thing. So if you do have any questions, like I said, feel free to populate it. All-time high, we got like 5 decisions employees on our side of the line. We got a bunch of people on your side of the line. They're just joining as guests. Like I said, we got 5 brains over here. So hopefully if you've got a question, one of our brains has the answer for you. If not, I got plenty of cool things I can show you. So it's no harm, no foul. I got plenty of cool things I am more than happy to kind of talk about and show off. So, but if you do have a question, please feel free to populate the QA, the chat, however it works these days. And we will get started here in, like I said, about 60 seconds. So the little clock on my computer says 12:02. I'm probably just going to start talking at 12:03. So less than 60 seconds. I'm going to get this thing started. All right, 12:03. It's time. I'm gonna move on. Welcome again for joining. Thank you guys. There's a couple of things on the screen. I know we've probably talked about them a bunch, so I'll give you the abbreviated version. If you go to decisions.com/events, we've got a number of events that are coming up that are new that you haven't experienced yet. So even our Submerse, let's say you've gone to Submerse, this new one, May 5th through 8th, we have a whole new project, kind of a whole new approach to it. So if you joined previous Submerses, you might be able to get something out of this one. I know that Greg, who hosts these Lunch and Learns sometimes, has, if you look at he hosts the last 2 days actually, he's curated a really great project, with some API calls and some rule logic and some cool reporting and stuff that just was missing from the initial product training kind of sprints. So again, we have that Submerse decisions.com/events, and we also have the product roadmap coming back. So if you're interested in like the future and kind of coming up with cool ideas, those are with the development team. So they know it better than we would. And again, that's decisions.com/events right there. Boom. So here's that Submerse, easy to register. We have a webinar, in product support and free custom AI chatbots. Heck, I might even talk about that here for a second because I know about that one. And then we have the product roadmap coming up. So live every other Tuesday. Wow. Should give you preview of upcoming features, enhancement, and design. Open to both internal teams and customers. What else we got here? Internal teams and customers, designed to keep you informed and involved in shaping the future of our technology. So that's pretty cool and slick. So just because I can talk about it for a moment, I'll give you a little preview of this. Again, we've got some people. I know that Derek was instrumental in building it, but we have this kind of custom accelerator. I believe it's 9.8 and up. I'd have to confirm that. It might be 9.9 and up, but it's this Dart Cortex. If you were here last week, I probably talked about it a little bit, but it really is cool. Like I've done a lot of work with the accelerators, and what we also colloquially call the decision solutions marketplace. I've talked about loan origination, playbook activity manager. In my non-professional opinion, this is probably one of the easiest ones to implement. Available at no cost for you. The only cost that would be associated with this is having enough API like tokens through OpenAI. I always get that one kind of mixed up. I know they have free ones built in, so maybe you can just get through if you're not using it a lot, which is getting free ones. But again, we don't have these costly licensing fees. It's really, really simple. So I'll show that off for a moment just because I've been making content around that the last couple of weeks and I can. I am qualified at least a little bit. So again, I'll kind of touch on about Cortex, but please interrupt me. I want to answer some questions. I want to have some slam dunks here today on this happy Thursday. So um, first thing you need to know is like, where do I find this thing, right? I'm currently on 9.9, I believe. And I think you got to be on 9.8 or above to get Cortex, but it's available up here in the App Store. So if you click on the App Store, again, these are just accelerators that are built out. You can kind of reverse engineer some of this stuff. Um, you can reverse engineer some of this stuff if you want, just kind of see how we built things. The one I'm talking about today is Cortex. And again, I see more people are joining. If you have questions, interrupt me, please, because I'm just ranting here. Uh, Cortex, yeah. So even it says it right here, kind of giving more information. Advanced AI-powered content and question management system designed to help organize, build, and manage question banks with automation and intelligence. So, what does that really mean? The shorthand version of that is it's going to give you access to a integration step that allows you to interface with a large language model that you can populate the data for easy, drag and drop style. So, and really, this one has one of the lowest setups as well. Really, all you need to get this thing going is an open API key, and then you make a named session, and then you're good. Put some accounts into groups so you get some full functionality, right? And these groups are already built into this. So again, if there's kind of three phases to this, it's get your open API key, make a name session, add an account to each of these groups that you can make sure people can perform the tasks. And it comes with all these built-in dashboards. I want to say there's like 8 different dashboards. So you can have different what we call teams. In those teams, they're going to have their own kind of training materials, which are super easy to add. So you can kind of go and create a team, and I can call this, the lunch and learn team. As soon as this loads, the lunch and I already made one last week, I guess. So I'm not going to rename it Lunch and Learn. But when you go in there, you make a team. It's got some other settings about like, hey, what percentage does your vector database um, match for your responses have to be, right? So it does some type of analysis saying, hey, we're like, 30% confident this answers the question. We're 90% confident this answers the question. This vector match is going to only show you things that are at 50% confident or more. Number of results 5. You have a bunch of stuff here. Boom. So let's say I made one for the train team. I'm just going to go in there. Again, this is kind of simple. All these dashboards, I believe there's 8 of them, are all just built in, right? So I didn't build this. It just comes straight up in extremely easy to kind of click through. Once you kind of have a team set up, right? It gives you that URL so that people can call this via like a URL, but I'll also show it to you in the flow. And again, if you're just joining, please interrupt me with any questions or anything at all. But you kind of go through and it allows you to kind of just really easy, painlessly. Like if I go to external data and I go to administration, I can just add a PDF full of information. I can add a spreadsheet full of information. And you can just create, if you already have a vector database, you can just add that information as well. So again, it's literally just painless. Boom, upload a PDF, right? Let's see if I have a PDF in my downloads folder. Here you go, data cleanup requirements, right? Boom. Give it about 5 Mississippi here. My model is now trained on the data cleanup requirements. And I can ask questions about that PDF that has pictures on it, right? So as I scroll down here, right, here's all that data cleanup stuff, right? It kind of gives you just, information there, and it's loosely trained against it. It really is that easy. Once you have questions kind of come through, you'll have managers that will then be able to provide more insight, subject matter expertise, stuff like that, to give you just to continue to train your bot. So like, here's a question that we got that I made myself. What does training offer? Question mark, right? It has not been reviewed. You can tell by this, like, I'm not sure, this unsure face right here. Some of these have been reviewed, but I can right click this, review the record as an administrator, and I can rewrite this information back to that vector database. I can add feedback, add context. I can say, this was or wasn't good, right? You can then, not for the database, add it, but not send it back. But you can say like, yeah, more information can be found on training or decisions.com/training, right? Boom. I just sent that back to the database, and now it'll be more likely to recommend that URL to your questionnaires, average response time of your chatbot, total conversations, all that stuff, right? There's more stuff up here, needs review, reviewed, conversations. And how does it work? And again, this is kind of the tech that our Dart bot down here, used to call it DocBot. Now I call it Dart, sometimes Dart bot on accident. It's kind of the tech, or at least the build paradigm this one was built on. So, you're given insights there, based on the team, right? So you have an overarching kind of Cortex manager, and then you have individual dashboards here that kind of math up to that 8 number, if I got that right. And really, how does it work? Again, in a really simplistic way that I think you guys will be able to appreciate is it's not this, like, if you've ever looked at any of other accelerators, it gives you these massive flows, and we do have some big flows in here to populate dashboards and stuff. Nothing extremely crazy, but we do have some, and a lot of it's based on configuration folders and stuff like that. But really, in a simplistic sense, it gives you this REST integration step that basically has a couple prompts, like it has a couple inputs, and then it feeds it into that team. So this is one for the train team. But again, it gives you these question inputs, user email inputs, and conversation ID, so that you can have some procedural process tracking. That can be, a get next ID step. I just put it in as a manual kind of a manual thing here. But so when I go to debug, right, I have these inputs. Again, you could put cool UI before this. You can put cool UI and rules after this. You can put rules before this. You can put anything. It just gives you an ability. You can put this in a form, right? Hey, do you have a question about how to fill out this form? They hit a sub dialog box. It runs this, and it populates a text box that says, or a show pop up that says, hey, I noticed you were trying to put an address or whatever it might be, but you can implement this in a number of different ways. It doesn't just have to be like an exposed big form, kind of like Dartbot is of URL. You can put this in a part of a form saying, hey, do you have any questions about what goes into these fields on a tax document or an onboarding document? You have people filling out an onboarding document and they don't know what a certain field means. You can put some back information there, so they're not having to navigate off the form particularly far to go to some documentation website. They can just have it there. And again, it's just as simple as kind of plain text, like conversation ID. I'm just going to manually add another one. Again, you'd probably want some system like a get next ID step to kind of populate this so you can keep track of it a little easier. Question: what is the training website URL? And again, this may not be perfect. But because I just added it, I'll hope that it'll find that user email. This is me. Boom. I am that person. I start debugging. It's going to take a few moments. Again, the average time for my chat responses was 3 seconds according to that dashboard. So there's our about 3 Mississippi. If I look to inputs and output data, it can't find it. So, oh man, I can't find. But however, you can contact Decisions Training Team at trainingdecisions.com or explain the YouTube channel, support forum, anything else I can help you with, let me know. Right. So I might go, that was not a good answer. I didn't like that particularly. Right. I'm going to go to this dashboard. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find that question right here. I'm going to review that. We didn't do good. What is the training? Sorry, we couldn't find it. Yes. The training website URL. Actually, I'm going to leave some of that stuff here. Can I copy from up here? I can copy from up here. So I'm going to say, yes, the training website URL is, decisions.com/training. And then I'll add the rest of this. Right? Copy it. And just send that back to the database. So the next time it gets a question like that, reviewed, send a database. Boom. And there's your vector match percentages. I'm going to go back to that for one moment, and then I'll kind of review the question as someone put something in the chat. Here's that vector match percentage. So remember, when you have a threshold when you're creating a team, you could say like, hey, only show me responses that meet a certain, oh goodness. Am I still signed in? Can you hear me, Greg, or anybody? Okay.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Sorry. My Zoom just popped up, said you've been logged out. So guess they were lying to me. Do you have offline forms implemented? I don't believe so. I can do a little bit of research, but I don't believe so. And that's not related to Cortex, right? I'll mute you, Vitaly, because I would love to have another conversation with you here. But let me see if I can unmute you. Stupid Zoom windows, man. Participants, here we go. A lot of talk. Yeah,
so
you're not talking about related to Cortex, right? You're talking about broadly.
no, it's not related to this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while when Decision wanted to implement something like offline forms where you can get an assignment, for example, and that will be loaded to your, for example, mobile device, maybe, and you're offline, you fill out the form, and when you be online, it sends the information to the assignment. I know it's been a while, but just curious.
Yeah, so I just checked with Jared, and he said he probably remembers what you were remembering. Um, and he said it hasn't been fully developed yet. So yeah, it's not what you are asking does not exist. If I'm just going to be straight and direct with it.
Is
Yeah.
that on the roadmap?
Yeah, it is on the roadmap. That'd be one of this, and this would be honestly a great one for this. Like I know you probably saw me talking about it, but like our actual dev team, like not because we us as trainers, like we have insights to like stuff that's coming down the pipeline with a real short term, like, hey, 9.10 is coming out. This is the stuff. That's what we know. But this decisions product roadmap, which is going to be every other Tuesday, is with the development team. And you can ask them, like, hey, where is this product that you guys have been talking about? And they'll have more insights because, again, they have a more of a 12 to 18-month window. Whereas we on training, we have about a 1 to 2 week window.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. That's just decisions.com/events. Cool. Um, Yeah, what else can I show off here, man? What else is new in the world of my brain? I'm not gonna hit you with all the 9998 release note stuff. I don't think anyone really uh, needs or wants to know about that. Just know that 99 is coming out next week. If you are one of those folks that like to update to the best and most modern, 99 will be coming out next week. Um, yeah, we talk about form tiles all the time, tabs from data name, we talk about that all the time. Uh, Here, Greg, throw me a layup, man. I'll eat me something. What will be something cool to show here in the next couple minutes?
I'm
Give me
thinking.
something. Give me a challenge, man. Throw me a challenge.
What do we got? What do we got that's kind of like newer?
Put me in a predicament.
I'm really trying to. I'm trying to think of something new, like something that
Yeah,
actually like.
something fresh. Oh, we got some more stuff in the chat. Maybe
Oh,
someone's
okay,
got it.
okay.
What is a cool feature coming in 9.9? I think we're going to upgrade to the next version next week. Yeah, cool. I'd love to, man. We'll start with 9.8 and then I'll do 9.9 just because I think that these things come out like every other week, so they're um, minor-ish releases at times. It's not as a big of an overhaul. I can say that in the nines in general, let's say 9.5 and up, we've done a really kind of double down on our um, commitment to like the health score. So like health scores are everywhere the higher you go, and easier to navigate, easier to add to dos. Your user experience stuff is going to really be a lot better. So what do I mean by that? I mean stuff that you would have thought would have been kind of simple. And when it comes to like especially yeah, user interface and user experience stuff, um, I mean just stuff as simple as this, like you know just stuff as simple as this. Like, we used to have to kind of click and drag these elements, but now I can, or click one at a time to kind of resize stuff. That kind of has been added. The ability to, when you move a control for it to kind of fit the categorical spacing, that's cool. Another one is that's like just seems too obvious. Let's say, oh, I wanted to add an additional field here. Like I wanted address one and then one to be city and state. You used to have to like move a bunch of stuff around and add the column and the drag and drop and move and up down. Now, if you just drag controls between stuff, it'll place it right there in between it, which is nice. So again, you have that resize stuff for user
Uh,
experience kind of world. Yeah, what's up?
Rob, yeah, can you demonstrate how it works on the vertical stack?
Yeah, give me one. Yeah, I certainly will. Let me yeah, let's do vertical stack. We'll do it just next. What else is 9.9? So we got a lot of health score stuff. A lot of reporting has been optimized for user experience stuff. Coming fresh in 9.9, which drops next week. Let me just pull up my little PowerPoint. That's probably gonna be the best way here at this point. Hopefully it doesn't pop up on y'all screen. Nope, nice. Yeah. Oh, 9.9. Here's some awesome stuff. Pats. So we have in 9.9, which I'm on right now, we have this thing called Pats, where we will assess, you can opt out of this, but we'll assess stuff about your server, your database on the support end and send you recommendations and things that we notice by running, kind of looking at logs and common stuff. So it's going to reduce your dependency on support. It's going to add monitoring tools to detect issues, suggest solutions, and reduce your dependency on um, going through support to get problems fixed. We can send them directly into your instance from support channel. Again, health scores are coming, report designer, form page and control validations are a little different. You can add those rows, which kind of showed a few moments ago. Your designer dashboards and stuff are changed. You can create accounts on demand when you make an assignment. So in previous iterations of decisions, if you had to make an assignment, that account had already exist. Now in 9.9, like let's say you have a new employee onboard process or a new employee or a new hire, you can create an assignment for them. And when that assignment's created, it also creates the account for them in decisions, which is kind of slick. Thread jobs, you're going to get a lot more information in thread jobs about how jobs are run. The description is more thorough. And you're going to have more reporting stuff. So,
Rob, so does
yeah,
that mean that we will send all our logs to your
no.
servers?
No. So Pats is not going to be all logs. So, so what Pats does is, and you can opt in or out of it, and it only works on two standard non-production and enterprise non-production servers to post a tirade. And again, it's just those two types, not every single type, and you can opt out of it. But customers that that do have a super open, we have a number of customers that have really kind of nonstop communication with support for whatever reason that might be. This just extends and enhances that communication so that rather than, hey, I sent you an email on how to resolve something, it's, hey, I sent it straight into your instance with best practices on how to resolve stuff. So it's not, again, it's an opt-in, opt-out. We're not like scanning data. It's more of like you have to go in and opt in, but you can align it up with those two, again, non-production server types to send data over so that we can send you best practices and we can the PAT stands for proactive troubleshooting support system. Proactive troubleshooting support system. So it's more or less like folks that have those continued conversations with support about trying to get projects, or they're working on something large. Hey, we've been working on this migration project for weeks. We can send them stuff saying, hey, we noticed in your environment because we looked at the logs, this was happening. I would check into this, and it kind of gives us on our end more direct contact to you via the support rather than just support portal emails. But again, it's not really a huge like data crawling, absorbing kind of thing. It's more or less just a open communication with support. Yeah. It helps you just proactively identify issues. So like we might notice, hey, we noticed, we've been working with you for weeks on trying to figure out this file data problem. We noticed that all of a sudden you have 20 gigs of file reference, file data in your server, file references in your server, like all of a sudden overnight. Is that correct? We can just send you like, hey, check your file server. Something doesn't look like it's right. And just it extends communication between support, as with support being a free service, at least at the base level of support. It just extends communication there. Yeah, let's talk about some of this other stuff real quick too. Pull this up. Yeah, so yeah, let's talk about that vertical stack stuff real quick. I think I actually have some that are already built out. And this is also a new feature with 9.8, 9.899. But let's say on a form here, um, oh, perfect naming convention. Yeah, so vertical stack are going to allow you to create like column like structure, and it's kind of best when provided with a grid layout. So see if we can kind of, and if you have something to point out about it particularly, or if you're just kind of like wondering how it works, I'll take some insight there as well. But what did you want to know about vertical stack, or what did you want to, or just should I just talk about them broadly?
Sometimes when you use vertical stack, it's hard to add items. So in previous
Mhm.
example, you showed like
Yeah.
it's easy, but does that work the same with the vertical stack? Like if you want to, yeah, cool.
Yeah. It only works for rows though. I don't think it's currently, and it doesn't currently work for columns.
Okay, that's fine.
But still, yeah, even then, like, keeping some of this stuff around, and just kind of being able to reorganize the stuff.
And, what about the header
Yep. Header
control?
containers. Yep. Same
Yeah,
one.
header container.
Anything with a grid.
Nice.
And
That's nice.
speaking of that header container stuff, like part of the new 9.6 releases, someone was asking about, like, hey, what's cool with 9.6? To me, I really like this one where you can now expose your tab names as a flow input. So like previously tab names had to be static, whereas now you can kind of select this tab name, account tab, and make it get header from data name. That has two functionalities. One, you can have it pull dynamically into, it comes available as an input for your form, but also in a more powerful sense, it allows you to set that tab name using active form flows.
That's
You
nice.
can,
I've seen that. That's nice. Yeah.
yeah. So as you kind of go through again, like we can populate these things and kind of bounce through. Um, and I think I've probably shown this off before, but as have this selected, oh, wrong. I select this, it'll change the data as well as changing the tab name. So as I kind of go through, Greg, right, Robert, and again, this is a horizontal stack, but um, it's on there. So cool. Any other questions? So we did about 28 minutes here, which is almost the length of a sitcom. I would um, gladly take some more. Just talk about anything y'all want to talk about. This has been a pleasure. Lunch and Learn World. Happy Thursday and all that stuff. Cool. Greg, you got anything for me to kind of got to lay it for me? How do you got a button to a form kind of question?
Uh, what can we do? What can we do?
I think list mapping is important. I'll just talk about it real quick. I know everyone here is a power user, but I just want to reiterate. I really like list mapping as a step. Um, List mapping is just going to give you an easy way to convert data types, not in a save sense, but in the way that the flow interacts with them. So list mapping is going to allow you to take a complex type, let's say like account, and then convert it over into like an external or something like that. So again, it's just a cool. If I go fetch entities, let's just fetch an account because I don't think I have any data structures in this project. Take my results path there, do the decisions best practice of splitting this over. If I go over here and select flow data and I go, let's go with any results, I can convert account into whatever type I want. So as long as it's a structure type, which I don't really have any on here. But it just, let's just say, I wonder if it'll let me go account to account. Sure. Wow, that's ugly, but let's do it anyways. You're allowed to build data here. And again, you're kind of just given those fields and you can say, hey, this field actually represents this field, this, and you can kind of convert it so that your flow can take it. That's going to be great for stuff that you have like flow structures where you're not saving data. And then all of a sudden you want to save data. You can use a flow structure to pass your data through the flow, transform it. And then without storing that data, as a use case, maybe you want to score someone's credit ability. You don't want to store their credit score. You don't want to store their, debt to income ratio, but you want to just give them a score at the end and store that score. Robert's score is, 70. Gregory's score is an 80 on the kind of credit health line kind of scoring. You can run all this stuff with Flow. run all the stuff with like a flow structure and then use a list mapping step to save just the fields you want into a structure that you can then use a create step or save entities, batch insert entities, however you want to save it into a different structure, and just allows easy conversion with that show item mapping editor on the top right. The user experience also in like the later nines is just way better in my opinion. You don't have to navigate through so many menus. All of your user defined types are right there. All of your all steps, your recents, and you're just given a little bit more control over this stuff. And I just think it's a little bit smoother and quicker. Really, just the user experience has increased a lot in version 9, as well as health scores everywhere. Everywhere has a health score, and you can keep track of all that stuff a lot quicker and faster. So,
Robert, I have
sure.
a challenge for you.
Yeah, so let's do it, man.
Can you build out an example of recursion in decisions?
Recursion? Are
Yeah,
you
let's do it.
saying
Recursive function, yeah. So if you use the same flow recursively.
Save what? Talking about breaking something? I can increase my limit right here if we wanted to, I
Now I'm
guess.
not breaking something.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Sure, yeah, explain it to me. Yeah, let's do it. I'm happy to be learning here today.
So, for example, if you let's say you have accounts and maybe one account is a manager of another account, and those accounts have like people under them and all that stuff.
Hmm.
How can you use one flow to
Hmm.
travel that tree uh and see the tree, for example? Or another example of recursion that you can think of.
Yeah, this is a word I know I can't spell. So let's think here. We have stuff that's nested within stuff within stuff. How can we easily show it?
You
I
can,
mean, maybe.
if you want to, you can recursively go under the like folders that you have and like subfolders and all that stuff.
And we're talking about showing this for a user experience or just seeing the data that lives there.
Just demonstrate recursive function in decisions.
Yeah, so my initial thought was to load some kind of a form that has a tree hierarchy, so that you can navigate it. So let's see
It
if we
doesn't
can.
have to be a form. You can just output the end result.
Yeah, if you want to walk me through it, Vitaly, I'm not sure. Obviously I'm missing something here. It's all on me, so apologies. But well, yeah, just give me a prompt here and let's build it out and show me something cool, or just give me a walkthrough here.
Yeah, there's no clue in that, but if you want to use something recursively, like the real recursion, you have to use it as a converter flow
Run a converter flow, so make a custom
and
converter flow.
make a data type which will be recursive of data type. Not here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just putting it there just for my brain. So in here, you're saying like create a data type and then go in and edit it and add itself.
It could be a flow structure, whatever. And let's say if you want to do that on account,
Like this.
yeah, and that's gonna be a list of accounts because it's gonna be recursive,
Mm-hmm. All right, save it.
something like that. Yep.
And then I got to go in and edit it and add it. You're sure about adding itself to
And
itself?
yes, you fetch accounts and then you fetch accounts as a converter flow. You fetch accounts that are managing another accounts recursively. And if there is no account as a manager, then you're done. You exit. And
Trying
that's
to
gonna
find
be
my.
a recursion on decisions.
Oh, I have game recursion. So we're fetching an account and then we run a converter flow over here somewhere in this, so like create an input.
Yeah, basically you fetch first accounts and then like top managers, right? And then you have like a converter flow that fetches accounts under those accounts.
We'll do person. Just kind of not get all the system stuff. So we'll create a new converter. And then here we're going to check for some kind of logic. Is that what we're going with? Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I just don't understand the ask. I'm not. Yeah.
That's high level. So basically, I guess you had to create like who's the manager if you want to know them, and then you use the same flow to get like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
to travel on the tree.
Okay, that's cool. So you put this in here essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
But
I never thought of it.
you need to exit out at some point.
Right. So you'd have some type of for loop maybe, or no? Let me think. A recursion limit on your primary flow.
No, that's not going to be handled on that level.
So let me think. Boom.
It's a good challenge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let me noodle with it tonight. I'm gonna mess with it here after this lunch and learn. It's probably something I can't solve in the next couple minutes, but I do like the concept of putting a flow inside of a flow so that you can run that hierarchical kind of taper down. But I'll have to kind of think of a use case for it. Cool. Unless we have any other questions, I think I might just call. Like I said, we did about 40 minutes, which is happy for me. I'm gonna see the QA here. Oh, I need to email a group, but it seems like the send email step can use a group. I need to email a group, but it seems like the email step can use the group as an input. Yeah, Alexander, let's mute. I'm gonna mute you, man. Thank you for joining. Apologies. Can't. Oh, can't. Yeah, let's just get you. Let's just figure it out here. A lot of talk. All right, so can't is the. I need to use an email. Need to email a group, but it seems like the email step can't use the group as an input.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
let's see here.
It's probably a really simple fix, but like I don't
Yeah,
want to sit here and put it through a loop because it's not
yeah,
performant. So on the input, I'm just trying to set it.
yeah. It's gonna be expected list of strings. Let's see if we have any advanced options. I mean, you shouldn't have to loop. I mean, you should be able to get a list of the group. You can get accounts for group and then send it that way. So I think you have a couple different options here. Um, so you can fetch something like group, and get the accounts out of that, and then from here,
Well, it's already a the group is already a constant in the project. It's like a global entity.
cool. And in that entity, what is the structure that it's holding? Is it a list of strings? Is it a list of account? Is it a list of what?
I guess list of emails. It's just emails in there. But when I try to like connect it, it doesn't have anything. It says it's not a list of strings, even though I can see that it's just emails on top of each other.
When you are clicking here
It's
and you're
inside of
going,
Project Constants. I don't know if you have something similar.
yeah, I don't have it set up. When you're clicking here, what is this text right here beneath your the one that you're clicking and saying it doesn't work? What does that one say?
Give me one sec. Actually,
Yeah,
give me one.
that's what matters is what the data type is. That's the problem, and that's where the solution is leading us to.
Okay, I got you. We plot my
My guess
emails.
is it's count, or I guess maybe it's a single group. It might just be group singular and not. Um, and again, I can figure something out there.
Okay. Let me just do the, I have one pulled up now. I'm just gonna select from flow and then go to system constants.
Yeah. When you go to select from flow, system constants, it'll give you a type.
That's weird. I'm not actually, hold on. This should be in here. System constants. Oh no, it's project constants. Okay.
Mhm.
Emails, and then I go to error notification group and it just says string.
Error notification group string.
Yeah. So it's a group and it has our emails in it. I know they're in there, you know,
Yeah.
and
Are
it just
they,
says string.
is there a way that you can check to see what, like, let's say hypothetically, right?
Hmm.
So that's just a string, right?
Yeah.
Is there a way that you can test to see if, let me just click paddywhack here for a second. And again, you might have to make a new flow or break something off real fast. Let's say hypothetically it's notification group or something. Notification group is a single string. You're saying it's not a list of strings.
Yep. Even though it does contain all the emails I need.
Yeah. My guess is it's something like this where it's like it's concatenated or what's there is it concatenated with what is that term? Or like a period or a comma.
Oh,
Comma separate.
Yeah,
yeah.
comma separated. Yeah.
Delimited.
Delimited. Yeah, delimited was what I
Delimited.
was looking for. But yeah, that's my guess is that it's something like Greg at decisions.com, Rob, and then
So
you could
that's the interesting. It's actually not like that. When I actually go to the flow, when I look at it, it's like separated. Like there's, I mean, I maybe it's saved like that inside the group. I don't know, but when you look at the group, it's separate. You know, it's my email, it's my lead's email, and then
it's a
so on and
group
so
in
forth.
decisions.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Apologies. I thought this was like some weird, not weird, but I thought this was like a user defined type.
No, no, no.
Yeah, I would recommend, yeah, if you're gonna do that,
Mhm.
call internal decision service, account service, and I believe it's it might be group service. I always get these wrong. Get account by group, or get
Should be
maybe
group service.
yeah, group service. I always it's two sides of a coin there, and yeah, no matter what, I'm always getting it wrong. It's like putting my USB into a computer. It's like, how is this always the wrong one, no matter what I pick first? Yeah, get accounts for group. That's what I'd recommend. And then you'll have a group ID. So let's say it's a decisions group. It's in your project or it's in your system, right?
Yeah.
So let's just go system groups, right? I made this non-specified group. I can go more, get group ID, copy text.
Okay.
And then now when I do that and I go back to this and I paste this in as a constant, it's going to output a list of account, right? And then when I have this email step, you should be able to go something like this. And again,
Oh, and
apologies,
just
kind of,
take the output.
yeah.
What's that
From
step you're using? The one that says API,
get,
but it's not an API.
yeah, no, it's the name of the step is called it's over here. It's call internal decision service step. So it's under integration, internal services, call internal.
Gotcha. Call
And that's,
internal.
yeah, call internal decision service is basically going to be any time that you need to interact with the decisions, like settings, like, like the Windows equivalent would be like get or set Windows settings. You know what I mean? Like accounts, groups, like, and there's just so many methods on here as
Hmm.
we kind of click down. And the name of this service is group service. But like, if you notice, like all these kind of have something to do with decisions, accounts, addresses, assignments, app store, versions, charting, comments, CSS. It's also kind of stuff that runs in the background. You know, um, I image like it's just stuff that kind of runs in the background. But now that I have this and outputs a list of an account, I should be able to go to my to section here.
It says under
Uh,
integrations, right?
yeah, so it's integration,
Internal
internal
services.
services,
Okay, I
call
see
internal,
it.
and then from there you should be able to go. Yeah, I'll start all over again. So let's just from the kind of the beginning there. It's integration, internal, call internal service. It'll say what is your
Hmm.
service name? It's group
Oh,
service.
you can also just type it in as well at the top. I just saw.
Yeah,
That's
thank
actually really
you.
cool.
Yeah, get accounts by group, get accounts for group, and then I just paste in that group ID. And then once I have that, I should be able to go send email and go to select from flow, get accounts for group, and then all email address. mapping in there as a list of strings.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Alexander, that's gonna send out a one email that
With everyone
will,
CC. Yep, correct.
yes.
Yes.
If you want separate emails, you need to for each.
Yep, good point. I've made that mistake one time early in my career here.
No, I
Yeah,
want one big email to
Cool.
go out to everybody. It's an alert
Perfect.
for something when
Yeah.
it breaks.
cool. And thank you, Vitaly, for saying that, because I did do that early on in my career here. I sent an email with 500 to 500. So yeah, bad news. Could have been litigation there, but yeah. So just be aware again for anyone that's watching this later. Be aware that does send one email with 100 twos. If you want to follow the other version to have some kind of
Wait, did you say
different version of-
100 twos? Why is it? I mean, everybody in the
it's saying in the two line,
Yeah.
in the two line, there's 100 accounts. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
That's what I meant. I definitely wasn't clear with that, but I can say, oh, rather than that, I'd rather go through these all email addresses here, collection, flow data, get accounts for group. And again, this isn't for your ask, but this is just a broad one. All the email addresses, and then once we're done with that, right, I can hit and then send this back to this. And then on the two, rather than doing it this way, I'll just go, I want to build an array and place that singular item in there, just called item, which again, best practice would actually be calling this like single email and being specific. So now that when I come back over here, it's called single item, and it'll just send it out, one at a time, up, and iterate through it. So it's a worthwhile call out. Thank you very much for telling.
Cool. Well, that's all I needed.
Great. Glad to end it like that. So, great. If no one has any more questions, we're going to call it a day here. We did our due diligence. It's been a pleasure hosting this. So thank you guys again. We'll be back at it next week, Monday. I don't know who's hosting. I'm not sure anyone knows. So, but we'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for joining. See you guys next time.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Thank you.